my name is Andrew, and I am going to give a demonstration today on how to make the healthiest smoothie in the entire world. This video is made especially for Audra Watkins of Decatur, Alabama, who was a great host for me last weekend and asked me to show her how to make this. So this smoothie is all about natural plant-based ingredients, and it is completely about raw. And if you do it right, it tastes amazing. It's incredibly healthy. It's incredibly filling. It has hardly any calories to it at all. And whatever calories there are, I don't know the total, but I can assure you that they're very, very healthy calories. You're not going to go wrong. Now, there's some kind of peculiar things that I do with the smoothie, but let's walk through the ingredients. And it doesn't matter exactly which ones. The point is that they should be raw. There should be variety, a mixture of fruits and vegetables. But this is a combination that I like, and what I think you could do is try making this combination for yourself and then test it and see, and you can play with variations. So I've got 1 whole lemon. I've got 2 oranges, an apple, a carrot, raw ginger, and this is frozen, and I'm going to just show you that this ginger is not even peeled. And this is part of it because we have such rushed lives, try to do things very quickly. I'm just going to throw that in its entirety whole. And I'm even going to show you also with the carrot. The only thing I'm going to do with the carrot, I'm not even going to peel it. It is a washed carrot. It comes washed from the store. But again, this is all about trying to do this efficiently because we have such really busy lives. But that's all I'm going to do with the carrot. I've been making these for ages. In fact, the trick is if you're going to give this to your family and you're worried about that stuff, don't tell them you're doing it because they won't even know. All right, so, and then I've also got some frozen fruit here. I've got some frozen strawberries, the mangoes, and pineapple. And again, if you do this right, you will not need to add any sugar. You don't need to add any dairy. Probably add a little bit of juice. And this way, this gives you your sugar completely for the sweetness of it. And for those people who don't like vegetables, if you get it right, you're going to get a whack of veggies in here without using artificial sweetener, and you're going to enjoy the vegetables. I'm also going to say, I forgot to mention this. This is a head of cabbage. The point is to get some greens in here. I'm going to use about this much, but I need like almost a third of it. I put a lot of greens in here, and I think that greens, if you've been reading around, they are the thing that are quite magical in terms of keeping us healthy and giving us nutrients and not having a lot of calories to them, and very, very, very filling. So this is a Chinese cabbage. You can use anything you want for the greens portion. Spinach is very, very, very popular, very common. I'm using this as a bit of a variant. But I've also used kale, of course, and I use it with the stalks right on it and everything. You get some nice calcium out of it, but the point is to have some greens in there too. Okay, so let's start putting everything together. Pretty darn easy at this point. And now I've got here is a Blendtec blender. I would use a very powerful blender for something like this because you're really going to put a lot of work to it. In fact, if you want to, this can be free advertising for Blendtec. They've got some hilarious YouTube videos where they do things like iPads, but there's also other blenders out there too, like Vitamix and the like. Point thing is to get a very, very strong blender. Okay, so the carrot, again, I just chopped the end off and I might break it up a little bit. In fact, I'm going to put the cabbage in first, the greens, because at the beginning, the blender has to get going. So throw the greens in and then I'll put the carrots. And here's what's going to happen with the orange. This is probably going to shock you too. I promise you it works just fine. I'm going to peel it. I'm not going to try to take the pith off or anything. I'm just going to throw the whole thing in its entirety. So there you go. I'm going to quickly peel it. Try to provide some colorful background noise while this is going on. This is me making endless, mindless chatter, which is what you'd see in a professional TV program, but I'm not that professional. Okay, you see, it's got the pith on it. I'm not even trying to take the pith off. There's awesome, delicious fiber in there. If there's seeds in it, I don't know. I don't care. They just go straight into it. If you want to go look up and see whether these citrus seeds are bad for you, sure, that's not a bad idea. I am certainly not going to be responsible for anything that goes wrong with you since I'm a lawyer. But I have no trouble with it. And if it bothers you that much, then yeah, make sure you get seedless ones or take them out or do some reading on it. But I don't have any issues with the seeds in there. I think that the nice thing about this is that it's not emphasizing juice. It's emphasizing the entire piece of fruit. And I've got to say, after a lot of years of having digestive issues, I'm skeptical about the whole juicing thing. There's a lot of yumminess in here, and when you see this is all done, it's going to be very fluid and very easy to drink. All right, so the apple, very similar. I'm just going to throw in the chunks. And actually, I don't probably need too much apple because I put 2 oranges in. I thought I only had 1 orange. But again, the point is not exactly this recipe. It's this kind of vibe and feel. Try making this one, and then experiment. So lemon, I'm going to do something very similar. Now this is a huge lemon, and actually I see I've got one here left over from this morning, so I'm going to use that one. And I'm going to do something very similar. All I'm going to do is just get the peel off of it, and I'm going to throw the whole darn thing in. And it adds a fabulous flavor. I noticed it with the lemon really adds a really interesting flavor to the whole thing. I can't quite describe it. If you get into this, play around. Try one with and one without. Again, there's nothing stopping you from juicing or any of this stuff, but I have made lots of different smoothies, and I find the whole food, the whole raw food going into it is the best for satiation and digestion and overall well-being. I mean, I really do feel like I'm Popeye the Sailor Man eating my spinach when I do this. So again, you see there, that's just half the lime. I've got the pith, everything. I've tried to get out the seeds where I can. I've just dropped it in. If that lime was small, the lemon was smaller. This one's huge. I would just do the exact same thing I did with this, and I would throw it in. Okay, so this, you can see here, this is pretty tart so far. So this is where now the whatever frozen fruit, I have frozen pineapple, frozen mango, frozen strawberry. You can use fresh strawberry. But again, some of this is all about the speed. I can tell you I put together one of these in about 7 minutes every morning. I drink 2 or 3 glasses, and my wife and my son Quentin, who's being so kind to film this today, he drinks 1 glass as well. So you can really get a lot of nutrition for the family. I'm going to get some juice, and we may need to do this in 2 stages. And the juice, I try not to use too much. As I said, I'm skeptical about all the juice these days. Certainly when you see things like that 2 glasses of juice is equivalent to 2 servings of fruit and vegetables, be skeptical about that, really. I mean, it's mostly sugar water by the time it's been taken apart like this. But a little bit in here, just to kind of there's nothing wrong with just using water if you want to be a total purist. There is always a balancing act with a smoothie in terms of flavor versus health. You can make very, very healthy smoothies that maybe don't taste so good, but they're super duper healthy. So, a little bit of juice, that's my little cheat. But the rest of the sweetness is just coming from frozen fruit. Again, nothing wrong, just we can keep piling in fresh fruit, but this is kind of what makes it easy. Really want to say again, the veggies are an extremely important part of this. They really are. In fact, I think that really this is a lot of it's an excuse to get vegetables in. So you can see I'm piling a lot of fruit. The way I'm doing the fruit, I think, is pretty healthy. But we don't get enough veg in our society, so this is a way that I've discovered really helps me get it in. And again, here I'm going to throw in this chunk of ginger. Again, it's optional, but again, for those people who do struggle with digestive issues, as I sometimes do, I've been doing this every single day, and I have a couple of these a day, and wow, it really is making quite a difference. So we're going to get a bit of noise here. The blender, often, this one has a smoothie setting. The blender may actually need to be run for 2 rounds because of how much is in here and how much you're asking it to do. Particularly the frozen ginger and the frozen fruit really put a lot of effort onto it. Discovered also something kind of neat. If you're having trouble, blenders will get into a slurry. You can put a bit of hot water in, and that kind of opens it up where it doesn't actually work. Or this particular one and others blenders I'm seeing have this hot button, and sometimes that can be used just for a little while to kind of get it going. And the consistency of what you get out at the end can be liquid, or it might actually come out more like a sorbet, and we do that every so often, then we scoop it out into bowls and eat it. Okay, so we're now going to start the blender, and we're going to pause this for that part of it. Okay. You can see there it is actually having some trouble with all the stuff that's in there. So I'm going to just give it a little push down, and I think I'm going to throw some hot water into it, and just to kind of get it going a bit. So this is a hot water dispenser, but you can just get hot water out of your tap, and you see I'm just putting about half a cup in there to see if I can coax it along a bit. So in that goes, and let's see what happens now. So I wasn't hearing any more clack, clack, clack in there. The ginger is probably still got something of a little chunk in there. So I often just kind of give it another whirl and go again just to be absolutely sure. Thanks for Okay, and so that's now been 2 minutes running on the smoothie setting, and we're pretty much going to be fine now. And out comes the treat. There's one glass and another glass. For me, my breakfast will be often 2 glasses, and then my wife and Dolly and my son Quentin usually drink the other glass. So let's give this one a taste. Not bad. Thanks very much for watching.